Busy night, the staff of a fancy restaurant in London experiences anger, resentment, surprise, heartbreak, influencers, and a very serious food allergy, all of which threatens to unravel their finely tuned working life. The head chef, Andy, is dealing with a big personal change, and it slowly starts to interfere with his work to the point that there is no easy way back in the technically marvelous 2021 drama Boiling Point. I'm Connor Eyzaguirre.
And this is Colton Jenkins.
And this is Filmgazm. Welcome to the Filmgazm podcast. Our subject for today's episode is a 2021 restaurant drama all filmed in one singular continuous take. Boiling Point, a film that's half about the life of restaurant workers and half about succumbing to the fear of change. So what made you choose this movie?
I was kind of on a Gordon Ramsay kick. And I was actually on YouTube looking up stuff about him and his show, or I guess there's a documentary about him also called Boiling Point that I was looking for, but stuff for this movie kept coming up, and I watched the trailer and I was like, holy shit, we need to do this movie. And I love restaurant culture, I love food, so that's why I chose it.
I've recently started to get into that kind of stuff ever since I started watching The Bear, which is a fantastic dramedy on Hulu. I recommend watching it immediately. You can zoom through the whole series in a day, which is what I did. Great show, and very much about the life of restaurant culture and people who work there and the crazy high tension that exists in a working place like that and how it greatly affects every other aspect of your life.
Yeah.
And Boiling Point definitely has that same drive, and I wouldn't be surprised if that movie was like an influence on well, maybe not. I guess this came out probably after the first season of The Bear aired.
I think so.
Yeah. Regardless, they're both great. And definitely if you like one, you're going to like the other.
Yeah. I love how, in The Bear especially, he is so, you can tell that he's so stressed out. He's trying to keep this restaurant going. Especially the scene where his, I guess the bread guy, he's trying to make a donut.
Oh.
And he finally gets the donut right. But he gets the donut right during one of the most, I don't want to spoil anything, but he finishes it during an extremely stressful moment of the show, and he goes up to the chef Carmen, and he's like, "Oh, I finished it," and Carmen freaks out on the guy.
Yeah,
and it's a very I think I'd say that's the boiling point of The Bear.
Well, the whole first season's a fucking powder keg just waiting for the match.
Yeah,
and that is when the match happens, and understandably, like the situation that arises, if faced with that kind of situation, I'd freak the fuck out too.
Yeah.
But Carmen aims it in such a terrible way that he just hurts so many people.
Yeah.
And it's such a hard scene to watch. And, oh, man, watch The Bear. Watch The Bear.
Watch The Bear.
Yeah. We're doing some kind of like spotlight on food or restaurant related movies, mostly because of The Bear and the random selections you've been bringing to the show, which have been great. Boiling Point's going to be the first of those. So let's get right into it. My question to you, have you ever worked in a restaurant before, and what was it like, if so?
I have. I worked in a restaurant when I lived in New York City. It was honestly one of the best experiences of my life. Quick shout out if you don't mind. It's called Beets and Carrots. It's in Bay Ridge, Brooklyn. The food honestly speaks for itself there. I when I graduated high school, I was looking for any job that would hire me, and this tiny restaurant in Bay Ridge said they would hire me, pay me under the table. And it was awesome. The guy who runs it is a wonderful guy, but he's a very scary Russian man. He's yelled at me so many times for fucking up, but he really drove my passion for cooking. It's honestly, I don't like to say I'm a film snob, but I kind of am a food snob, and it's all thanks to that asshole. So, yeah, he's really great. It was pretty stressful working there. Long hours. I would get there at 6 in the morning, and I wouldn't leave until like almost 2 in the morning.
Jesus.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun. Cooking is a lot of fun. I really like making people happy, and I think there's no better way to do that than through food. But some people can be real assholes, and this movie highlights some of those experiences. But yeah, it was great, actually.
Follow-up question. Do you consider food to be an art form?
Yes, absolutely it is, because it takes, Ratatouille says it best. Anyone can cook, just like anyone can draw, but there are professionals. There are people who do it exceptionally well. I honestly think food critics, they are the one critic in an art form that makes sense to me, because there's so many components to food that you can judge. The presentation, the preparation, and then the overall taste. Like when people have fancy schmancy restaurants with a theme and their food reflects that, or their food reflects the seasons, it tells a story, in my opinion, because, there's so many travel shows about food. You can tell a lot about cultures through food. So, yeah, food is absolutely an art form. It takes skill. Yeah.
I agree. Regrettably, I'm a picky eater. I have a my palate's an asshole, and I don't really know how to change that. I wish I could, but there's certain foods that literally just activate a gag reflex, and I can't move past that. So I wish I could just eat anything. I'd love to be able to try stuff like that. That's why I love being able to do that with film. Just throw myself into whatever I want. And I wish I could do that with food, but so far, not so much. I can't do it.
What is something you can't eat?
Mushrooms.
My grandpa is the same way. He hates mushrooms. Why? What is it? Is it the texture, the taste?
It's that, and also the fact that I know I'm eating a fungus.
That's fair.
That's hard to get past.
Have you ever had anything with truffle in it?
I don't think so.
Okay. Yeah, you would know. It's very aromatic. It's the first time I had truffle. It was in the restaurant I worked in, Beets and Carrots. He makes his French fries. He coats them in truffle oil and sea salt. And the first time I had it, I almost wanted to gag, but then I just kept eating the fries because I guess there's a point of truffle. If we do an episode on pig,
we probably will.
Yeah, it's a truffle movie, and they're really, I like them now, but yeah, for me, durian is pretty fucking gross.
I don't even know what that is.
It's a stinky fruit from somewhere in
Asia. I've heard it. Yeah, I know that.
Yeah,
I've heard. Ugh, that sounded
jackfruit. Disgusting. I hate it, dude. It's so bad.
Did you ever watch that show on? I think it was Travel Channel of Bizarre Foods.
Yes.
Andrew Zimmern.
Yeah, of course.
The weirdest shit that guy would eat gleefully used to freak me out.
Yeah, but he wouldn't eat durian.
I remember. Yeah.
Yeah.
That and there was some 1,000-year-old egg tofu thing that made him throw up in the bathroom.
Foul.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't eat that. Some cheese I won't eat. If it's really soft, I think that's gross.
I don't eat anything that smells like ass. That's a big one.
Fair. Yeah.
Blue cheese, no, I won't touch that.
Really? That's interesting.
It's moldy mold. Because cheese is already mold.
Yeah.
Then you're just letting mold go bad and calling it a food.
Do you like cilantro?
Not really, no.
Does it taste like soap?
No, I don't think... No, it doesn't taste like soap. It just tastes like leaves to me.
That's fair.
Yeah, I don't have that gene.
No?
No.
Well, that's good.
I won't eat anything that's alive, either.
No.
Worms or bugs or anything like that. That's, still crawling around.
Absolutely not. I was so scared, actually, to eat. Have you ever been to a Japanese restaurant and they give you bonita flakes on something?
No.
Okay. So it's it's dried fish, but it's so thin that when the food is steaming, it makes the flakes move. So it looks like it's alive. I was so scared to eat that for the longest time because I thought, when I was younger, I thought it was alive. So
there's this Icelandic dish or something. It's a maggoty cheese.
Oh, yeah.
Why?
I don't know. I think it's Mayan.
Oh God.
Is it Mayan? I don't know. It doesn't matter.
I hope not. That's my people.
Yeah, it doesn't. It It doesn't matter where it's from. I don't want it.
That and like the fermented shark's head that's like buried for a month or something.
Yeah. Oh my god.
The weird shit people will do with their food, like the ritualistic thing surrounding it. I just don't understand that.
No. It took me a while, honestly, to eat kimchi. But kimchi is so fucking good now. My girlfriend now lived in Korea. She introduced me to Korean food, and it is some of the best food out there, let me tell you.
I had a girl I was really into in high school, and I didn't want to disappoint her, so I ate calamari. And I don't rock with seafood. I hate seafood.
Really?
I find it repulsive.
Interesting.
But I ate that calamari. I swallowed that down, crammed it down, held it down, and we still never hooked up.
Oh, man. Probably because your brothers don't like calamari.
I fucking hope not. But yeah, I it's something I could work on, but I don't, I'm not in any hurry.
Yeah. So you don't eat sushi or anything?
Oh, no. No.
Interesting. Interesting.
I will sometimes, very occasionally, rock like a coconut shrimp. Or like, I'll eat shrimp if they're tossed at me by a Japanese man.
Of course.
Yeah, as you do.
You can't say no to that.
No, you don't want to be that guy.
You can be drowning in sake and you'll keep telling him to squirt it into your mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a question for you.
Okay.
What is the most you will spend on a meal if it is a restaurant? Actually, would you ever go to a restaurant like the Menu or like Jones and Sons?
Well, if I could afford it, like the Menu, for instance, everyone there is like, 7-figure salaries.
Yeah.
If I had that kind of money, why not? Why not go to some lavish island restaurant where I get to, partake in somebody's ritualistic revenge? Why not? But for me, it's really about, tax bracket.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
But do you think those kind of restaurants, do you think it's like a waste?
I don't think any kind of memorable experience is a waste.
Okay, yeah. I feel exactly the same way.
Yeah.
Whenever I love the show on Netflix, Chef's Table, and if I ever see like a clip of it or something on TikTok, or if I see like really nice looking food from one of those restaurants on Instagram, all the comments are like, oh, I wouldn't spend money on that. That's like $200 right there. But it's, again, those same people probably go to art museums.
Yeah.
It's about the experience. It's not, you don't go to those restaurants. It feels weird, but in my opinion, you don't go to those restaurants to eat. You go to those restaurants to experience the art that is food.
True. I'm looking up something right now I've read about called the $10,000 taco.
Oh, God. I feel like things like that is a waste of money. Like, oh, this taco has, like, flecks of gold on it. Okay, but, like, why? What does it, like, add? I feel like gimmicky things like that don't matter. Like, there's a champagne that has flecks of gold in it. Why? Just to make it cost more money? I don't agree with that. But,
okay.
Yeah.
All right. It's actually the $25,000 taco.
Holy shit, man.
It's, the taco is reserved at the Oceanside Grand Velas Resort. The extravagant dish wraps a gold-infused corn tortilla around lobster and Kobe beef, then is topped with black truffle brie cheese, beluga caviar, and more gold.
But that doesn't sound good. Like, why did you have to infuse the tortilla with gold?
Even if I made that kind of money to be able to throw away $25,000 on a taco, I don't think in good conscience I could spend that kind of money on something that's going to be just food.
Was there a picture of it?
Probably.
Because $25,000, that is way too much.
Yeah. You're paying for the luxury of eating a $25,000 taco.
The most I have ever spent at dinner at this point in my life has been $400.
Yeah. Google $25,000 taco. It looks like an Easter candy thing.
Yeah, it doesn't look that good. He showed me a picture. It doesn't look good.
What does gold taste like?
Nothing. I don't even think it tastes.
You're eating gold because you can say that you ate gold. Like you're gonna shit gold that day.
I was just about to say there's these pills you can take that actually turn your shit gold.
What is wrong with people?
I don't know, but I don't think those pills are expensive from what I remember, and I've always wanted to try it to see what would happen. But like that can't be good for your
No, you don't want to give your insides the Midas touch. That's going to fuck you up.
No. You know what would be a really good horror movie? Is that.
Like the story of King Midas, but it's his colon?
No. Like, someone in the modern time with the Midas touch.
That would be good. They've never done... You ever read in middle school, there was a book called The Chocolate Touch?
No.
It's about this really irritating fat kid who...
I'm sitting right here.
He loved chocolate. Like, all he ever ate was chocolate. All he ever talked about was chocolate. And he finds this coin in the street of a, like a chubby kid on it. And it says, like, so-and-so's chocolate store. And he's like, ooh. So he goes to this chocolate store and gives the guy the coin. Says, like, is this like a coupon or something? The guy's like, oh, you found the coin. Well, what do you want? And he's like, chocolate. And he's like, are you sure? Be careful what you wish for. And going forward, as soon as he leaves the store, everything this kid's lips touch turns to chocolate.
Oh, that would be awful. Everything
he eats is chocolate. And at first he's like, oh, chocolate. And then he gets thirsty. He tries to drink water, turns into chocolate. And he's like, no! And then it ends with him giving his mom a kiss, and his mom turns into chocolate.
That's awful.
And he's like, ah! But then, of course, you know, being a kid's book, he goes back to the chocolate store, and the guy's like, now what did we learn? And he's like, I don't want to eat chocolate all the time. He's like, there you go. Now go eat a salad and hug your mom. And...
Okay, is his mom still chocolate?
No, his mom's still, like, the chocolate wizard man was like, okay, you know, mischief managed, go learn your lesson. I remember that as a kid because I was thinking, like, because the cover is him shrieking at his chocolate mom.
That's great. Wow.
Oh, funny. So they haven't really explored that in modern fiction that much. So I guess to answer your question, I'd have to make enough money to be able to justify going to a place that expensive. Like the most expensive meal I've ever had for myself was at a Brazilian steakhouse.
Oh, okay, yeah, those are good.
Yeah, they were good. I didn't think it was. It didn't wow me.
No,
and I was expecting to be wowed for that kind of money.
Which one did you go to? Was it Texas?
No, it was it was over in San Antonio.
Fogo de Chao?
No, not that one.
Tamagotcha,
that's the one.
Yeah. Tamagotcha's pretty good. The trick with those is you have to go at lunch, not dinner, because it's cheaper at lunch, but you get the same thing.
Ah, I didn't do that.
Yeah.
I did like a Valentine's date thing.
Oh, gotcha.
And, yeah, we had a good time, but also it was like, holy shit, this is pricey for...
for what you're getting, yeah. They do have good lemonade. It's lemonade, but it's like mixed with like sweetened condensed milk, which sounds bad, but it's so good.
That is interesting. I'd like to try that.
Do you like dreamsicles?
I love dreamsicles.
That's basically what it is. Ooh. But lemon.
Nice. Well, cool. Okay, now I have a goal. Okay, Boiling Point is based on the 2019 short film of the same name, which also starred Stephen Graham and was directed by Philip Barantini. I guess they made the short film and wanted to expand that into a full film. I'd like to check out the short film and see what part of the movie was the short film.
That should be the end.
I have a feeling it's the phone call at the end, and maybe some chef stuff. So originally, this film is all filmed in one continuous take. There's no cuts at all. It's not a gimmick. It's not faked. It really is one take, which is amazing.
Yeah.
There were going to be 8 attempts at filming. They had the budget to film this 8 times, twice per evening for 4 days in March 2020. But COVID was escalating in the UK. They were a little, hesitant about safety precautions on film sets. A lot of stuff was shutting down. After the first day, Stephen Graham and the producers decided it was too dangerous to have so many people together. So filming was cut short to just 2 days, resulting in only 4 takes. And they ended up using the 3rd take for the movie, which is kind of shitty.
Yeah, because they still did the 4th take.
Yeah, it's like, look, one more time to be like, just for kicks. Like, I get that if you're just filming like a quick, 2-minute scene, but when it's a whole movie, I'd be like, fuck you, 4th take, we're using part 3.
I wonder if they said they were going to do 4 takes to piss them off more in the 3rd take, because you just did 2, you got to do 1 more.
Maybe.
But then they still did it, so I guess that doesn't make any sense.
I love Stephen Graham, by the way. Just a shout out to him. He's a great British character actor. He's in so much stuff. I think recently he played what's his name? Harry Wormwood in the Matilda musical remake on Netflix. He's good. I love him as Al Capone in Boardwalk Empire and as Turkish's like partner in Snatch. He's good.
I haven't seen any of those, but I know who he is. Mm-hmm. I've definitely seen him in things.
Yeah, he's in a bunch of stuff. Really cool guy. And this was... Character actors don't usually get a lot of opportunities to be leading men, so when they get their own movie like this, it's always a treat to see them get to act their balls off around their colleagues. It was shot in a real restaurant called Jones and Sons in Dalston, London. The restaurant in the movie is called Jones and Sons. The character of Andy Jones was named after a friend of Barantini's who owns the restaurant, so Andy Jones is named after Andy Jones, who I hope is not dealing with drug abuse, a divorce, and a estranged relationship with his son.
Yeah. I wonder if it's... I'm going to look it up, actually, if it is a true story.
Jones and Sons. Next time I'm in London, I got to go over to Jones and Sons and arrogantly request a steak that's not on the menu.
Oh my god, dude. That pissed me off so much. Jeez.
I don't know if you know who I am, but I have a lot of followers on Instagram. So do whatever I demand or I'm closing this place down. There's this food truck called $5 Grilled Cheese. Do you know about that? Mm-mm. It's a food truck that sells grilled cheese sandwiches for $5.
Okay.
It's bread, butter, cheese, toast it. There you go.
Right.
No tomatoes, no arugula, no add-ons, nothing. You give them $5, they give you a grilled cheese.
They don't even have a menu?
They do not. They sell grilled cheese.
Nice.
They don't have drinks. They don't have sides. They have grilled cheese for $5. This is all in their like business description because they got tired of answering these questions. If you say something like I'm an influencer, like, can I get a free meal? It's $6 grilled cheese.
Nice. That is.
I love these people, and I want to find that food truck. They don't have change either. $5 grilled cheese.
There you go.
That's all it is.
Yeah. So it says here, Boiling Point is loosely based on the real Andy Jones. He says Andy in the movie is loosely based on my life and my experiences.
Wow. I've
been sober for almost 7 years now, but during my time in kitchens, I was drinking and doing all of that, which I think he's alluding to drugs. He was in a dark place.
Wow.
So he says it is filmed on his experiences during that time.
Yeah, you imagine you're going through like the worst time of your life. You're dealing with drugs and alcohol, and you're like losing your family.
Yeah.
And your best friend comes up to you and is like, "Dude, I know you're going through a lot right now, but this would make a great movie. Can I
make this a movie? Please?
Can I just take this?"
Yeah. Probably at the hospital after his overdose, he walks up and he's like, "Damn, hey man, you want to make some money?"
I wonder, it's like, "Hey man, I know you got to sleep right now. Could you just sign these release forms real quick?" No matter what, doesn't matter what they're about. Like, I'll tell you later. Just I need your signature on these, like, right now.
Oh my god.
I'm sure it didn't go down like that. I'm sure he was willing to tell his story.
Yeah.
But I just love the idea of like stealing your best friend's life for a movie that turns out to be really good. Yeah. But then the friend doesn't find that out till the premiere. Like, he's like, "My best friend made a movie. It's about kitchens. I worked in a kitchen. This is gonna be so exciting." And then he starts watching and he's like, "You named him Andy? Wait, what?"
He's like, "Wait, that's my restaurant.
What the fuck? You what?" He gets to the end, he's like, "You motherfucker."
Or he's like, "How'd you know my kid's name?"
"How'd you know my kid's name?" "How'd you know that's where I put the Coke?"
Yeah.
"How did you know that?"
Slammed against the wall. "Who told you? What are you arguing for?"
Oh, that's fantastic. Boiling Point was a modest success, but pretty good for a COVID release. I don't know if you remember, but nothing was making money. The stuff that was coming out was tanking because everyone was afraid to go back to the movie theaters.
Yeah.
It was looking like movie theaters might not bounce back. It was a very scary time for film fans. And, everybody else. For other reasons.
Yeah.
On a budget of $820,000, it grossed about $1.4 million, which is really good for an indie restaurant movie made during a pandemic.
Yeah.
IMDb score of 7.5. Unbelievable Rotten Tomatoes score of 99%.
Yeah.
Which means there's one asshole who didn't like this.
What's the highest? Have you ever seen 100%?
There's a few hundreds. I think like Mary Poppins, Citizen Kane, Paddington 2, I think.
No fucking way.
Last I checked, I think Paddington 2 is the most, highest rated film on Rotten Tomatoes. Last I checked. It's been a few years, so that might have changed.
I haven't even seen Paddington 1.
Everyone says Paddington 2 is, one of the greatest movies ever made.
Really?
Yeah. And the guy who did that is doing Wonka, so...
Alright, I'll fucking watch Paddington 2.
That's what sold everybody on it. They're like, Wonka, fuck that. But then they're like, the Paddington guy's doing it? Well, maybe I'll watch this.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's actually great.
I love it. The critics' consensus on Rotten Tomatoes reads, gripping from start to finish. Boiling Point uses its bold, formal approach to support a thrilling tightrope of a tale. I agree.
I do agree. Do you think this is one of the films that asshole film people like because it's one shot?
Yeah, there's always going to be that. There's always going to be people who like film for the wrong reasons, just like there's food critics who like food for the wrong reasons. They just go there to snap some pics for the Instagram. They only go to the popular fancy restaurant. They don't actually eat the food.
Yeah.
Those are the equivalent of the film people who just, say that, Jean-Luc Godard is a master, but don't actually watch any of his movies.
I wonder what a movie like The Menu would be, but for film.
I'm sure it's out there. I've probably seen it. Give me some time, I might be able to come up with that.
That's basically Inglourious Bastards. Or it would be like the ending of Inglourious Bastards, where they all burn in the theater.
Yeah, kind of, yeah. Demons, there's a movie, 1985, a bunch of people go to a movie theater to watch a horror movie, but, the horror movie gets cursed, and and monsters come out of the screen and kill everybody.
That'd be cool.
It wasn't bad. It's pretty cool.
I could see something, there's a prestigious filmmaker who's going to make a movie, and he's only letting film critics see it at, Sundance or something. And then the movie that he made is about a producer or director who wants to kill film critics. And then at the end, the actor that plays that guy is actually going to kill all the film critics in the room.
That sounds oddly familiar.
Doesn't it? Yeah.
Like a guy making most directors are obsessives already. You have to be to do that kind of work. So you combine that with some vengeance or sociopathy, and you're going to create a very interesting monster.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to look I love movies about movies, about the filmmaking process. Yeah. You ever see Shadow of a Vampire?
Mm-mm.
It's a movie about the making of Nosferatu.
Oh.
But in this version, the guy who plays the vampire really was a vampire.
Oh, shit.
And the director knew that and basically just told him, we'll film at night, just stay in the shadows, act like you're in character. And he's like, okay, but I get to kill members of the cast. And he's like, yeah, sure, just when I'm done. It's a weird movie.
So it's okay.
It's not a true story.
No.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I love What We Do in the Shadows, by the way. I don't know if you've seen it.
I love it.
The movie and the show? Both? Yeah. It's so fucking good.
It just came back. Have you been keeping up?
I have not, no.
Yeah.
I only watched half of season 1.
It's in its 5th now. It's so fucking hilarious.
It's in its 5th season?
Yeah. Season 5 premiered 3 days ago.
Oh shit, dude. I did not know that.
Yeah.
I missed... Did Taika Waititi make the show too?
He produced it, and he pops up a couple times.
Oh.
But, it's, he's not very involved anymore. Mm-hmm. Jermaine Clement, though, I think he's still involved.
Good.
Yeah.
They're so funny.
They are.
They're great.
I love when he's explaining, why he prefers virgin blood. It's you'd enjoy a sandwich more if you knew nobody had fucked it. Just, God damn it.
Which, yeah.
Great movie. All right, well, let's give this film some awards. Let's start off with best line, our favorite line in the movie. What do you got?
So, best line. There's a lot of really good monologues in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
Some of them are really long. Some of them are kind of different people's, I was going to say breaking point, but it's their boiling point. Especially the two main characters, Carly and Andy. They both kind of get their own boiling point. But I chose a line that I really liked because not only did it remind me of my experience working in a restaurant, but I think it's a good lesson to have for, it's good to, have this idea when you're living your day-to-day life. It's when Andy Jones, he just got the bad food critic review. And one of the things he mentioned was that one of their chefs isn't using gloves when dealing with oysters.
Wasn't food critic, it was a health inspection.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Health inspector. Yeah, that's right. Anyway, his line is, "Now listen, Tony, you bump your ideas up, lad, because there's always a million kids out there who would die for this fucking opportunity that you've been given, yeah? Show some fucking respect. Respect your fucking self. Pull your socks up." Which, I love that line because, have some fucking self-respect. Like, if you fuck up, fine, fix it and move on. That doesn't mean you're a shitty person.
Yeah.
Like...
But covering it up and not talking about it and screwing over everybody else's thing, that makes you a shitty person.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. Like I'm in the medical field currently. I've made some mistakes. And you really can't keep secrets in the medical field a secret.
No, you cannot.
But once you gone up to your mistakes, and you move on from that, that's good. That's growth. That's what people need to do.
Yeah, I agree. You can almost hear "Yes, Chef" after that monologue. You can almost hear that.
Yeah.
And I love also one thing Andy does is he, whenever he gets on somebody, he asks them the same question 3 times. I like that.
So I think what he's trying to do is, I think they do it in The Bear, if I'm not mistaken. It's this thing called closed loop communication. It's whenever someone asks you a question or tells you to do something, you repeat that exact thing back to them.
Oh.
So nobody was doing it, so he just said it 3 times to really make sure that they heard him.
That makes sense.
So, when he's like, "Go get more oysters," and he's like, "Okay, I will." He's like, "What? Go get more oysters." "Okay, I will." "Go get more oysters." "Okay." What he should have done is go get more oysters. "Okay, I will go get more oysters." It's more common in the medical field, but in the restaurant business... Yeah. It's there as well.
Yeah, you hear it in The Bear all the time. You want to make sure you were heard correctly. And that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Awesome. I went with something a little bit more spicy, a little bit more, a little goofy. Comes from our food critic who's hanging out with Jason Fleming, who's there to weirdly skewer his old friend's restaurant, but also beg him for money.
Yep.
Which is a weird tact there. Mm. But she starts talking about the nature of reviewing, and she says, "Reviewing is like sex. You review by what's there, not by what's not there." And I thought that was very insightful, because, I do film reviews, and you can't review the movie you wish you'd seen. You got to review the movie you watched. Mm. And that can be tough to nail down, because there are stuff, when you're disappointed by a movie, you're like, "Oh, if only they'd done this." But they didn't. That didn't happen. So you can't really that can't factor into your thoughts on the film. And it's really hard to separate that shit.
Yeah.
But I love that somebody finally pointed that out. It is hard to explain, but she nailed it. No pun intended. Mm.
Yeah, it's good. It's just like Indiana Jones. Before hearing your points on why you didn't enjoy it, I've taken those into consideration, but I thought it was good, but I think I was listening to what I wished was there.
Yeah.
And that's hard to do, yeah.
Well, and I was also pointing out, I wish Short Round was here. But he's not. So I can't judge the movie by the fact that there's no Short Round. I got to judge the movie by the fact that Phoebe Waller-Bridge is here, and I have to deal with that.
Yeah. Yep.
So, I was guilty of that in the opposite direction. And I'm sure if I watch it again, knowing what to expect, I'll probably like it a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. All right, next up, we have the best music moment. There's one moment of music in this movie, so it's the end credits, Poltergeist by Sam Fender.
Yeah. Good song choice, though, for the end, because just watching, because I had a thought when he hung up the phone at the end. I was like, watch, the movie's going to, because I asked you, I was like, how long is this movie? And you were like, hour and a half, and I was like, okay, so it's going to end soon, but the night is not anywhere near over, so I wonder how this is gonna end. Is he gonna pass out or quit or something? And he fucking walks out and he has a heart attack because he is doing coke and vodka.
Yeah, I called it coke with a vodka chaser.
Yeah,
which is not a healthy way to live.
No. So just that coupled with all the stress and everything, heart attack.
Well, according to Wikipedia, there is a sequel series in development by the BBC right now, and Stephen Graham is expected to return. So I think it's a safe bet that Andy did not die.
Unless it's a prequel.
Unless, yeah. But, I mean, Andy, the real Andy, was like, hey, here's my story.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
So, real Andy was probably like, hey, asshole. I didn't die.
That's great.
Best performance.
Oh.
Who wins the movie?
So I was stuck between Carly and Andy. I gave this award to Stephen Graham as Andy Jones. Just every time you see his face, you can tell that he is in a bad place. For this entire movie, not only is this a very stressful moment in a restaurant, this is a very stressful point in this man's life. He has so much going on, like you said earlier. He is going through a divorce. He is in a strange relationship with his son. He is like right on the cusp of becoming a really great, renowned chef. His old friend is begging for money, and he's dealing with an addiction to cocaine and probably alcoholism. Throughout the entire movie, there's this really good thing that we see where during the health inspector's inspection, he's off camera. And when he comes back, he has this opaque white water bottle. And me working in a restaurant, or just, I mean, you can probably tell, working in restaurants, you get very hot and sweaty. Yeah. You sweat a lot. So obviously you're going to drink water, but he keeps drinking from the water. And looking back now, he drinks from the bottle anytime he's stressed out. And at the end of the movie, you realize that it's alcohol.
Yeah.
Which is really great.
Mm-hmm.
But he just has this look in his eyes that he will, he like when his friend comes, he looks at him like he wants to punch him in the face. Same with the health inspector. He also seems like he really does care about his job and the people around him, but he just can't. He has his own personal life. He's got a lot of shit going on at home, and Stephen Graham delivers that character absolutely perfectly all the way into the end. Usually when a character has a slight redemption, like at the very end of the movie, he says, I'm done doing drugs and don't need alcohol, and he dumps it all away, and usually they're like, oh, he's definitely going to do it again. But I genuinely believed him, which is a hard thing to portray. So I gave the award to him.
Yeah, all good points. All good points. I also gave it to Stephen Graham.
Yeah.
For me, it was the accent, because I don't think that's his natural accent.
Really?
He's British, but I think he's a different type of British. So throwing on, I couldn't tell you what like borough or part of London that accent's from. I can't do that. I'm not an accent guy. But it's very distinct to this character and really works. And I like that he's in control even when he's not in control.
Yeah.
And that's a very interesting aspect to this character. He owns his shit. When he fucks up, he immediately stops arguing and is like, it was my fault. I'm sorry. I apologize. And then, of course, the other guy doesn't stop arguing.
Yeah.
But he
Freeman?
Yeah. He tries. And I love Stephen Graham as a performer, and I love just seeing him take charge of a movie like this. But it was fantastic.
Yeah. So good.
Oh, yeah. Beautiful. All right. Finally, we got the best scene. What's the best scene of the movie?
Okay. There were a lot, like I said earlier, there were a lot of like really big moments in this movie, which honestly I wasn't suspecting. This was I knew it was going to be intense, but I didn't expect it to be as emotionally charged as it was.
Yeah.
Especially for a one shot. This must have been so stressful to film. But the scene I chose was the anaphylaxis scene.
Oh.
And not just the anaphylaxis scene. There's a scene in this movie where there's this, throughout the entire movie, there's this couple, table 13, and when 13 is an unlucky number, which I thought was cool. And she is allergic to peanuts, but they've told this restaurant ahead of time. The guy sent them an email that his girlfriend is allergic to peanuts. But the owner is also, she's not confident in her job, so she forgets to like put it in the system so the kitchen knows. So she writes it on a little note, gives it to the kitchen, and the kitchen has to remember that she has peanut allergy. everything goes smoothly from what we've seen, but she eventually eats peanuts or nuts, and she goes into anaphylaxis. The ambulances are called, everyone's freaking out. And when we were watching it, I remember me and you were trying to figure out who fucked up.
Yeah.
we blamed like 3 different people. Because in that scene where the food went out, it was also very chaotic. There were a lot of things going on. Andy burnt his hand, he fucked something up, and there was a lot of shit going on. But the scene that really did it for me was after the ambulances are called for this lady, they call a staff meeting, and they're in like the back kind of prep area, and you finally realize what happened. And what happened was the newest member of the team, she's French, through almost no fault of her own, she runs out of dressing at one part earlier in the movie, and Andy is very stressed, so he tells her to make a new one and to use the ones that they have in front of her. One of those happens to be walnut oil, so her salad gets walnut oil in it, and that was such like a curveball oh shit moment.
Yeah.
It was so well done, and I think that is, I know I keep saying it, but that was the boiling point of this movie. That was when everything kind of fell apart and went to shit. That's when Carly quit her job. That's when he finally said fuck you to his friend. Yeah. That's when he finally realized, I'm in a bad place. I need to like step away.
Yeah, that scene is the olive and the toothpick on the shit sandwich.
Yeah.
And such a great just moment of, action from everybody. Like, when that shit happens and you gotta realize, you gotta figure out, like, who nearly killed a woman tonight? Mm-hmm. That's when shit gets real and you gotta own up to your fuck-ups. Big time. But,
like, it is Annie's fault, but it's not like... This is a weird mistake, because...
It wasn't neglect, it wasn't malicious, it was just 1 in a million accident.
Yeah.
It really was.
Also, who the fuck... I've never heard of walnut oil.
Oh, I don't know. Food allergies are so mystifying to me. Like, I don't have them. I'm not allergic to anything, thankfully, so I don't have to worry about that. But I have cousins who are like deathly allergic to nuts. I think almonds. Like, I have a cousin, if he eats almonds, he'll die.
Oh my god.
But he used to be like deathly allergic to sesame seeds, but then he outgrew that. So like you can outgrow deathly allergy. It seems like such an evolutionary fuck up that we can be allergic to things that are supposed to nourish us, like things that will, feed and help another human grow will violently kill another one.
Yeah,
it's so weird. I don't know where that comes from or like what the benefit of that is in evolution, but whatever.
Yeah, my mom used to be allergic to peanuts, like deathly allergic. But once she got rid of that allergy, she now has celiac, which is she's very allergic to gluten, wheat.
I don't think I could live with that.
I thought this. It's not that bad.
Oof.
I had to eat gluten-free living at home.
Oh my god.
And it wasn't. There are some things that are better gluten-free, like cornbread, better gluten-free in my opinion. Some brownie mixes, better gluten-free.
I am like 88% carbs, so I don't know if I could do that.
And interestingly enough, gluten-free Oreos taste almost identical. Actually, pretty on par with Oreos.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. What the hell is gluten-free bread?
So it's made with like tapioca flour, rice flour, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. It's very hard, cardboardy. It's not good. It's very crumbly. One time I went to Jersey Mike's. It was my first time going, and I ordered on DoorDash, and I didn't realize I clicked the gluten-free option until I got the food, and I was so upset I actually ordered another one.
Damn.
Because I didn't want my first experience to be tainted.
Yeah. When I worked at Draft House, I'd have to deliver a lot of gluten-free pizzas, and they always looked so unappetizing. Yeah.
Did you have like a separate station to make them?
Yeah, I didn't work in the kitchen, but I'm sure they did. I just worked Expo. I just delivered the food.
That's fair.
I didn't have to interact with the customers that much. I didn't have to interact with the kitchen that much. I just grabbed it from their tray, looked at the ticket, went to the theater, took it up to the seat, said, "Who has the popcorn?" When somebody went, "Me," very quietly, I'd set the popcorn down, go get more food, do it again.
Have you had to deal with any shitty people?
Oh, all the time. I had a lady berate me for not bringing the ketchup she requested. but she didn't request it from me. She asked somebody else, and I was the next employee to reach her table, and she was like, where the hell's my ketchup? I told you to bring ketchup. And I'm like, okay. And I went and told her waiter, and I'm like, you didn't ask me. I wanted to be like, bitch, you didn't ask me for ketchup. I'm not the only person who works here.
During a movie?
Yeah. Well, it was like during the pre-show.
Oh.
Like, it hadn't started yet.
Fucking have patience, dude.
Yeah. It was, yeah, I've had some horror stories from some dicks. But most of 90% of the people I served were nice.
Yeah.
Just wanted to watch their movie. Yeah. I love job. That's the only job I ever missed.
Yeah.
I love that place.
It's weird that both of us, the jobs in the film industry, have been jobs that we miss.
No. Food industry.
Yeah.
You said film industry.
Oh, food. Sorry.
I wish I had a job in the film industry. Sweet. My scene is a big-ass monologue that I'm going to repeat in its entirety because it's beautiful. And one of the greatest, like, chewing out the boss scenes I've ever seen. So, the manager of the restaurant interacts with these social media influencers who don't like the menu and want a steak. Well, there's no steaks on the menu. And the waiter tries to tell them this, and they're like, fuck off, give me the manager, I want a steak. And the manager comes over and is like, of course you can have a steak and some complimentary drinks and, let me suck your dick while I'm at it. And I'm just like, ugh. So she goes over to Carly, who's running the kitchen, and says, like, fire up 3 steaks. She's like, we don't have steak. And they just start arguing back and forth about this. And Andy, meanwhile, goes and gets some, like, side of beef they had. Says, like, get some steaks out of this.
Not only was it that was one of the dishes planned for the night after, like the next night. So now they're cutting off portions from...
Yep. But the manager, not knowing how a kitchen works, doesn't give a shit about their situation. So Carly lets her have it and says, quote, we are working our fucking asses off here. You know what, Andy? I'm sick to the back teeth of your fuck-ups being blamed on us. Look how hard everyone's working here. Look how hard everyone is working to earn you money. But you just haven't got a fucking clue. We're running off our asses here because you overbooked. But you're so fucking stupid that you don't even know that you've done it, do you? Do you realize that you're overbooked? No? And on top of that, she's asking us to go off menu to cook fucking steak for some bullshit influencers. And you haven't put the allergies on the system, so we're having to refer to your scrawny handwritten fucking note all night. Do you know how much pressure we're under? Maybe. Okay, maybe if you spent half as much time learning how to run a restaurant instead of whoring your ass on social media like a budget fucking Kardashian, then we won't be so much in the shit that we are now. You talk to us all like we are the dirt on the bottom of your fucking shoe. Well, I'll tell you something, love. I've had enough of it. I do not fucking like you. They don't like you. Nobody likes you. And this job is not worth it. I do not get paid enough to deal with this shit.
It
Beautiful.
Is so good.
Oh my god.
It is so good. And then after that, she goes to the bathroom and cries and calls her dad.
Yeah, and says, like, you talk to me like that again, we're done. And then her boss goes and is like, Daddy, I need help. Oh my god, it's beautiful.
It's so good.
Anyone who's ever worked for an incompetent asshole got a little bit of vindication in that scene. It really is just great.
Yeah.
Beautiful. But, like, I could have gone with the scene at the end when Andy goes into his office and just sobs into the phone to his ex-wife, telling him he's going to do better. It's a great scene. I like the food critics and the asshole TV chef. Just, TV chef trying to badmouth Andy to the food critic. The food critic's just like, I like this. What are you doing?
Yeah, and he even he's like, here, try my food. And she's like, we got exactly the same thing.
That had me laughing so hard.
He's like, no, seriously, try my food. And she's like, what are you talking about? This is simple, good. And he's like, whoa, you said simple. And she's like, do you want me to write him a bad review? What are you doing?
Yeah. She's just like, I like this.
Yeah. And then I love how Andy implies that guy is cheating on his wife with the food critic.
Yeah. Does your wife know you're out here with her? The fucking daggers Andy is staring into that guy the whole time. Ugh, it's a palpable hatred.
Oh, yeah.
I want to know what happened there. Like, how did Andy get fucked over by this guy? Because clearly this guy fucked Andy.
Yeah.
But you don't even need to know what happened. You just know something happened, and it's bad enough to warrant that kind of relationship.
Mm-hmm. And then the fucking audacity. He's sitting, the friend of the food critic, Andy's old friend, played by, what's his name?
Jason Fleming.
Jason Fleming.
Yeah.
He's sitting there and he's like, oh wow, a paper menu. That's cute. Like, shut the fuck up. And he's like, oh, all of these items are my dishes. What an asshole.
I love when the influencers come over there to be like, are you that TV chef? As they're in the middle of an argument.
Yeah.
And they can't fucking read that. And Jason Fleming keeps arguing while he's taking the picture.
So fucking annoying. Oh, we haven't even talked about the table 7.
Oh, fuck those people so hard.
So there's this asshole guy who is taking his wife and I guess his children to this restaurant, and he orders the most expensive bottle of wine just because it's expensive, and he also orders a red wine. And then the waitress is like, okay, I'll go grab water. And by the way, this waitress is a white woman. And he says, no, fuck no. I don't want to drink swill with this wine. I want bottled water, which, okay, that's fine, but don't fucking say it that way, you know?
Yeah.
So she comes back, she gets busy doing something else. So they get another waitress to go to their table who happens to be black, a black female, and the dude gives her so much shit. Very racist, undertones. He's like, did they ever teach you people how to pour wine? Or like, get your dirty fingerprints off of my plate when, to be completely honest, her pants are probably cleaner than his.
Mm-hmm.
Just an asshole.
Yeah. Even to his own kids, like the son wants to, like, he doesn't want to drink, and dad's like, no, you're drinking wine tonight.
Yeah.
Like, just, God. He looked like a white Shrek.
He really did.
Yeah.
Oh, he's the dad from Matilda. He won the lottery or something.
Ugh. Yeah, such a prick. And I was hoping that something would happen to them, like someone would freak out on them or something. But no, they overcook his lamb. That's the revenge.
Yeah, they didn't deserve any more screen time than he got.
Nope. Well, with that, let's take a look at what Letterboxd has to say on our final segment, What's in the Box.
What's in the fucking box? Give me the gun.
Boiling Point is rocking a 4.0 out of 5.
Hell yeah.
That is... It's going to be a 4.0 for me as well.
Yeah.
This was a good movie.
What would make it a 5? I know you say 5s are hard for you to give out.
5s are hard. A 5 for this movie, a third act where, like, basically, like, everyone freaks the fuck out and the restaurant burns down. I was expecting that to happen, like, where, like, the boiling point is, like, oh, everyone panicked and freaks the fuck out, starts hitting customers, and, like, shit just destroys the restaurant.
That would have been great.
But I don't know, some movies evolve into 5s. I watch them multiple times, and I'm like, you know what, this is a perfect movie. That has happened a few times, so that could happen again. I have 4 reviews here, 2 positive and 2 negative. This first one's from Ben Hack. Ratatouille, but make it Scouse, with a dash of Gordon Ramsay and a glaze of Safdie. 4 stars.
That's great. Yeah, there is a lot of Safdie feeling to this movie.
You picked up on that, and you were not alone.
Yeah. Yeah, we were watching it 5 minutes in. I was like, oh, this is like a Safdie movie. It's just very... Everyone talks over each other. It's a very noisy movie. There's no music at all, but just the sound of the kitchen, the customers, everyone arguing over each other. It's very fast-paced, the way that the camera moves.
Well, it's realistic. That's how life is. People don't just, conversations aren't, pause and perfectly scripted in real life. It's, you stumble on your words, you cut people off. That's just how life is.
Yeah, I think Quentin Tarantino, he's really good at writing dialogue, but he's not good at filming dialogue.
His dialogue is great, but it's not the way people talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of filmmakers like that. M. Night Shyamalan is bad at both.
Yes.
He doesn't know how people talk, and he writes horrendous dialogue. Yeah. This next one's from Jay Bird, king of the letterboxd limerick. All of the points are boiling, as those frying pans need oiling. Knives stay shut, because only one cut keeps the meat from spoiling. 4.5 stars. We will be hearing a lot from Jay Bird if he covers the film we're going to talk about, because who doesn't love a good limerick?
That's great.
Oh, ridiculous. This next one's from Grover Loaf. Now we're getting into the bad ones. Everyone who has ever held a restaurant job is all over this film's dick. But honestly, this was a boring piece of shit full of unlikable twats. Half a star.
Oof.
I mean, he's not wrong. I get it.
Yeah, but you like this movie too.
I do. I like it, but none of the characters are very good people. But again, they're just like, they're at work.
Neither are the people in Shameless, and that's one of the best TV shows ever made.
No.
Not Shameless. I mean, yeah, Shameless, but Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Oh, God, yes. Obviously, if you've held a restaurant job, you're gonna be more into this movie because you understand it better. You've been in that environment.
Exactly.
That's not weird.
I don't necessarily like sports movies because I don't have an interest in...
Yeah, but if you were like, on the Broncos for 10 years, then you'd be like, oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
And boring piece of shit, fuck you. Unlikable twats, yeah, but on a busy night in a restaurant kitchen, no one's gonna be smiling.
No.
That's just not, no. Mm-mm. This last one's from Mr. Nocchiolo. Once again, a cooking film that shows us how unbearable the chef life is. Which I guess it's kind of true if you ever had something to do with the kitchen. Yet the main purpose of the movie seems to be to feel some kind of pity for a coked-out, alcoholic, neglecting parent that is the chef. The overwhelming feeling of anxiety is the only feeling that the movie gives you. Other than the hate for the chef's wife. Poor baby chef. He just needs some peace from this bitch that keeps calling him. I didn't see that.
I didn't see that at all.
That's projection.
Yeah.
Another man who lost everything due to unspecified reasons and in desperate need of a mommy, the sous chef. Didn't see that either.
What the fuck?
In the end, I felt nothing other than the relief that the torture finished. Dude, you need to apologize to your wife.
And also, I don't think we're supposed to feel pity for Andy. I think we're supposed to just feel the anxiety-ridden scene that is a kitchen at a busy night. Yeah. It's a stressful job. This movie is supposed to stress you out, and it does. I had the same issue with I can't say anything else because you haven't played The Last of Us 2. You don't know what happens. Never mind.
Oh.
Never mind.
I will. As soon as I get a copy, I'm gonna. I really want to.
Without spoiling anything, I will walk around it. There is something that happens at the very beginning of The Last of Us 2, and everyone hates that game for that reason. And everyone said, I'm not playing this piece of shit game because they made this choice. I don't know why the fuck they would make this choice, but that is the fucking point of that choice. You are supposed to feel that way because that is what drives the plot of the game. So you're supposed to not like the people in this movie because Andy doesn't like any of the people he works with. He's very stressed out. No. That's the point.
And his interactions with his wife are never like, oh, this bitch, why won't she leave me alone? It's more like, they're going through some shit.
Yes.
You don't know both sides of this story. You only know Andy's side because he's the character we're with.
And to be fair, you don't even know the story. You just see one, snapshot of it. Also, it's not his wife that's calling him, it's his son.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
And the need of a mommy, that's not the relationship he had with Carly at all. And the fact that you're trying to twist that into that says that I think you might need a mommy.
I think what he's talking about is the sous pastry chef. The kid with the cuts on his arm. I think he didn't understand what a sous chef was.
But he's talking entirely about Andy, though. And Andy doesn't really have any interaction with her. I think he is talking about Carly.
Yeah, I know.
It doesn't make sense. I don't know what he saw in this movie. His whole review doesn't make any fucking sense.
This is not a boring movie. This is a very intense. It is a very intense movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a couple Google reviews. Again, I like using Google reviews because I think it really represents, honestly, basically kind of where I am in film. Because I thought I knew movies, and then I joined this podcast.
Not gonna lie, the biggest reason I used Letterboxd for that particular segment is so I can have the name What's in the box. That's the main reason.
I also like Google reviews because, on Letterboxd, it's people who love movies. Mm-hmm. Google, sometimes you can get really unhinged. Like that one. Well, you guys haven't heard it yet, but there's a Star Wars review I read that I couldn't even get through because I was laughing too hard because of how absurd it was. But there's some really weird people on Google reviews. But I have 2 reviews. One's a 1 star, one's a 3 star. The 1 star is from Kenny Mick, who said, this is actually pretty funny. One of the worst things I have ever seen, and I once seen my uncle chase his glass eye down a set of stairs. Which, did you not help your uncle get the eye? Like, what the fuck are you doing?
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
It reminds me of, there's this stand-up comic named Greg Davies, hilarious British comedian. He has a special on Netflix called You Magnificent Beast, which already is just fucking hell. But he says a joke where he's talking about like the most horrible thing he's ever seen, and he ends that with, and I've seen somebody kill a pony with a golf club.
What the fuck?
He hasn't. He just uses that to pepper the joke, but it's such a funny ass statement.
Oh, that's great. That's fucking great.
Yeah, I recommend checking his stuff out. He's just hysterical.
I will, yeah. This one's a 3 star. I don't know why this person chose 3 stars, because his review... Well, I'll read the review. You tell me what you think he should have chosen. This is his whole review. It says, English movies are so boring most of the time, unlike the American movies, and their accent.
Oh my god.
That's it. American movies, they're not all good.
That's true. That's very true. And also, which American accent? We talking Boston? We talking Texas? We talking California? We talking Pacific Northwest? We're talking Florida? There's a lot of different voices here.
It's just, this movie was... English movies are boring most of the time. 3 stars. Okay. What about this one? Why'd you give this one a 3 star if you thought it was boring?
Why be so vague and give it 3 stars? Like, there was recently an episode Caleb and I did where I found a review of a movie that was like, he sung its praises and then gave it 1 star, and we were like,
maybe he just didn't understand how it worked.
When has 1 star ever been the best one ever in any rating system ever?
Oh man.
But yeah, some people just don't get how that works, or they don't know what they're talking about, or they didn't actually watch. I don't think that guy watched the movie. I think it was just like, it's British. I don't want to watch this.
Yeah, probably.
No, ridiculous. No. Well, that about wraps it up. This was a blast. Thanks for listening, everybody. If you like the show, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Filmgazm Productions. If you want to suggest films for us to check out, you can email us at filmgazm@gmail.com or send us a message through the socials. Check out our Letterboxd accounts for daily reviews. You search for me at Connor95, and in my friends list, you can find the rest of the team. Check out the website, filmgazm.com, where I have a link to that letterbox. You can also find articles, trailers of upcoming films, and every episode of our show. If you'd like to become a monthly donor to Filmgazm Productions, click on the link in the episode description. From there, click on Support This Podcast. You can choose to donate $1 a month, $5 a month, or $10 a month, and all donations go right back into the show. Thanks to the entire Filmgazm team for their contributions. Thanks to Cooley Cow for our awesome theme music. Thanks to you for checking it out. In the meantime, if you work in the restaurant business, take an extra smoke break for me. Take it easy. Keep watching movies. And we'll see you next week.